Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really quite remarkable.
Yeah.
The story of when artificial intelligence, DeepMind's AlphaGo specifically, took on the world champion of Go, Lee Sedol.
Ah, yes. That was that was a moment. It wasn't just another game, was it? It felt like a huge step for AI.
Definitely. And Go itself, for anyone maybe not familiar, it's incredibly complex, way more complex than
Oh,
chess.
vastly. The number of possible games, the potential board positions, it's staggering. People say, more possibilities than atoms in the universe. It's hard to even wrap your head around.
It really is. And it's not just complex, it's ancient, thousands of years old.
Hmm,
Deeply significant culturally in China, Japan, Korea, one of the four noble arts, right?
exactly. Seen as this ultimate test of human intuition, strategy, deep thinking.
So into this very human arena steps AlphaGo. Our main source for this deep dive is the documentary AlphaGo, the movie. It's great. It covers the whole journey,
Right, from DeepMind developing it to that first match against Fan Hui, the European champ.
which was a surprise in itself.
Totally. And then, of course, the big one. The 5 games against the legend, Lee Sedol.
So our mission here really is to unpack that whole encounter. How did a machine get that good at a game like Go?
Yeah, a game that seems so reliant on feeling, on intuition. What did it all tell us about intelligence? Both machine intelligence and maybe even our own.
Okay, so let's start with the why. Why did DeepMind even build AlphaGo? It wasn't just about winning at Go, was it?
No, not at all. The film makes it clear their goal was much bigger. They wanted to fundamentally understand intelligence itself.
And then recreate it artificially.
Precisely. They even called it their Apollo program for AI. The long game was and is using that AI to solve really big societal problems.
Right, so how do they train it? You can't just program Go strategy like you might chess openings, can you?
Well, not if you want it to be truly world-class. They started by showing it data about 100,000 games from strong human players. Amateurs, mostly.
So like learning the basics, the common patterns,
Kind of like that, yeah, building a foundation by observing. But the real magic came next.
the self-play.
Exactly. Reinforcement learning through self-play. AlphaGo played millions and millions of games against slightly different versions of itself.
Learning from its mistakes over and over again, refining constantly.
Millions of times. Way more experience than any human could ever get. It just kept pushing its own limits.
And the tech behind that was these deep neural networks, right? Modeled loosely on the human brain.
Yeah, that's the key. These networks can process huge amounts of data, find really complex patterns, and make sophisticated decisions. They learn, essentially.
There's that great example in the documentary with the breakout game.
Oh, yeah. The AI, just looking at pixels, figures out the best strategy is to tunnel behind the bricks.
A strategy the humans who programmed it hadn't even thought of.
That really shows its ability to go beyond its initial training, to find genuinely new approaches. That's crucial for understanding AlphaGo.
Okay, so that leads us to Fan Hui, European Go champion at the time. DeepMind invites him over.
And Fan Hui, initially, he seems a bit, maybe skeptical? Not quite sure what he's getting into.
Yeah, maybe thought it'd be like playing any other computer program, a bit of a runaround.
But then they play 5 games.
And AlphaGo wins. 5-0.
Boom. Just like that. And is absolutely stunned the AI world. People thought that kind of win against a pro was like maybe a decade off.
You could see it shook Fan Hui too, his reaction afterwards.
Yeah, he said something like, I don't understand myself anymore. It clearly challenged his whole understanding of the game he dedicated his life to.
But it's fair to say the top Go players, the absolute elite, they still had questions, right? Fan Hui was strong, but maybe not Lee Sedol level.
Exactly. There was still skepticism about whether AlphaGo could handle the very, very best, which of course set the stage for Lee Sedol.
Lee Sedol, a legend, 9-dan professional, that's the highest rank you can get.
A true giant of the game, 18 world titles. People compared him to Roger Federer in tennis, just dominant.
And his rank 9-dan compared to Fan Hui's 2-dan. It's a whole different level.
Completely different league. So naturally, Lee Sedol was pretty confident heading in.
Yeah, he predicted he'd win easily. 5-0, or maybe 4-1.
He just didn't seem to think the machine, even after beating Fan Hui, could bridge that gap so quickly.
And the pressure must have been immense, especially in South Korea.
Oh, huge. Go is massive there, part of the culture, and Lee Sedol is a national hero. The documentary shows the incredible media attention, the public expectation.
He wasn't just playing for himself, he was kind of representing humanity against the machine. The whole world was watching.
Then came game 1.
AlphaGo wins. A shock.
You can really see it in the film, Lee Sedol's reaction after that loss. The realization hitting him.
That this isn't just some clever program. This is something else.
Something different, yeah. Then game 2.
AlphaGo wins again.
And the pressure on Lee Sedol just ramps up. You see him needing to take breaks, walk outside.
You can feel the weight on him. This was history happening, a machine beating perhaps the best human player ever at Go.
And then game 3.
AlphaGo wins again. That clinched the series. 3-0.
Yeah. The match was decided. Lee Sedol looked absolutely crushed.
Right.
And the world was just astonished. Even people in AI were surprised it happened so decisively, so soon.
Okay, let's dig into some specific moments now because the games themselves revealed so much. Game 2, move 37, that one became famous.
The shoulder hit on the 5th line. Super unconventional.
Right, the commentators were baffled, like, what is it doing? It just looked wrong, according to standard Go wisdom.
AlphaGo itself apparently calculated the odds of a human pro playing that move at incredibly low, like 1 in 10,000. It just wasn't in the human playbook.
But it worked. It had this ripple effect through the rest of the game.
It really did. It showed AlphaGo wasn't bound by human traditions or heuristics. It was exploring this vast possibility space in a way humans just couldn't or wouldn't. Maybe seeing value where humans didn't.
A different kind of creativity, almost.
You could maybe call it that. Or just a profoundly different calculation of value.
Then there's Game 4, the fight back.
Yes. Lee Sedol wins. A brilliant, brilliant game from him. He broke the undefeated streak.
The documentary really shows his determination in that one. Probing, pushing, looking for a weakness.
He was relentless.
Yeah.
And then came move 78, this wedge play.
Which other top pros later called a god's play. High praise.
Absolutely. It was incredibly sharp, and it seemed to hit a blind spot in AlphaGo's understanding.
Right. The AI seemed to misread that complex local fight. Its win probability just plummeted after that move.
Yeah, started making moves that looked, well, confused, weak even. It seemed like Lee Sedol found a crack in the armor, something about very specific, intricate, tactical situations.
And the reaction when he won that game.
Oh, it was huge. Global celebration almost. Relief, maybe, that human intuition could still find a way. It was a powerful moment.
It really was. And there was another interesting aspect. People noticed these so-called slack moves AlphaGo sometimes played.
Right, moves that looked kind of lazy to human eyes. Not really maximizing territory, not super aggressive.
Which suggested maybe AlphaGo just didn't care about winning by a lot.
That seemed to be the interpretation. Its goal was just to win. Secure the victory, even by the smallest margin, like half a point. Why expend extra effort or take risks if you're already projected to win?
That's a fundamentally different philosophy from how humans usually play, trying to maximize their score.
Totally different. It challenged some long-held assumptions about optimal strategy.
So in the end, AlphaGo won the 5th game too, making it 4-1 overall. But Lee Sedol seemed different in that last game.
Yeah, you could see he'd learned a lot. He looked more confident, like he understood his opponent better, even though he lost.
It felt like a real learning process for him throughout the series.
For everyone, really. And the documentary suggests AlphaGo's play itself, those unconventional moves, could influence Go strategy for generations, opening up new ways of thinking.
Beyond Go, though, what does this tell us? It showed machines can do more than just crunch numbers, right? They can analyze intelligently, make surprising, effective decisions.
Absolutely. It highlighted this potential for AI to not just automate tasks, but to actually generate new insights, to see things humans might miss.
You start thinking about other fields. Science, medicine.
Exactly. Drug discovery, material science, climate modeling. Areas with huge amounts of complex data where an AI might spot patterns or solutions we haven't.
Of course, that also brings up the whole conversation about responsible AI development ethics.
For sure. We're still in the early days, relatively speaking. Collaboration across fields is going to be vital as this technology develops further.
Lee Sedol's perspective afterwards was really striking, too.
It really was. He talked about seeing the world differently, feeling like AlphaGo showed him something beautiful in the game.
And hoping AI could help us discover new things. He even said playing AlphaGo was like seeing his real me, and he had to accept it. That's quite profound.
Incredibly introspective. It shows that, yeah, it was a competition, but it was also this profound learning experience. It pushed the boundaries for both sides.
So the big takeaway for you listening is this AlphaGo match wasn't just a game show. It was a genuine milestone.
Yeah, a landmark in AI evolution.
Yeah.
It showed us surprising capabilities and made us ask deeper questions about intelligence, creativity.
And how humans and machines might work together in the future.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. If AI can master something as complex and, frankly, as intuitive as Go, what else is possible?
Right. What other big challenges, things that seem almost impossible for us to crack right now, might intelligent machines help us understand or even solve down the line?
And what does that mean for what we consider expertise or
Yeah.
innovation?
Yeah.
And well, it's a fascinating future to think about.
Yeah.